Most people treat stiff muscles completely wrong. They pop ibuprofen, they stretch aggressively, or they just live with it. And none of these fix the root cause. Here's the bold truth. That morning creak in your lower back, it's not harmless. It's a biological warning sign. Your tissues are inflamed, starved of blood flow, or locked in stress nervous system. Ignore it and you're looking at joint damage, chronic pain, or a fall that could have been prevented. Doctor will prescribe a muscle relaxer. Your yoga teacher will tell you you just need to stretch more, but neither of those address the cellular reason your muscles are stuck. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 herbs that work differently, plus the 3 red flags where you absolutely need to see a doctor. So let's get into it. Wagwan folks, and welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl, Tamika G, holistic wellness coach, consultant, herbalist, and LPN. And as always, I'm bridging the gap between health and wellness. But first, current status, lemon balm, peppermint, and lavender tea. So lavender and lemon balm work well together because they calm the nervous system and ease tension. Peppermint and lavender work well together to reduce tension headaches and even some migraines. This blend may help with reducing stress and anxiety, relieve gas, bloating, and cramping. It also has a gentle immune support as all 3 herbs have antiviral and antibacterial properties. You can drink this at any time of the day, but this blend is really good at night because it's so calming. So here's the biology most people don't know. A stiff muscle isn't just tight. It physically compresses your small vessels, also known as capillaries. That means the muscle tissue becomes hypoxic, aka starving for oxygen. Waste products like lactic acid and inflammatory cytokinesis build up. That creates more pain and more stiffness. It's a vicious cycle. And your nervous system may get stuck in a fight or flight mode. High cortisol, poor sleep, even high blood pressure. But here's the hopeful part. If you break that cycle by reducing inflammation, improving blood flow, or calming the nervous signal, the muscle can then relax at a cellular level. Therefore, the herbs we're about to discuss don't just make you feel better. They may interrupt the biological cascade that leads to osteoarthritis, chronic pain syndromes, and injury. Of course, prior to taking any herbs, always make sure that you consult your primary physician to make sure it's safe for you. So we have herb number 1, turmeric. Quick backstory. I once had a client who was a runner. Their knees were so stiff that they could barely cross their legs while sitting. They weren't big on herbs or holistic alternative medicine, but they still tried turmeric pills, and to their surprise, or lack of, nothing happened. It didn't work. And like many people, when things don't work how they believe it should or how it has worked for other people, they thought herbs were fake. But here's the biology that many people honestly fail to realize. We are complex beings, and as much as something may be good for you, there may be something that's blocking it from working in you specifically. In this case, the active compound curcumin targets a protein complex inside your cell called NF-κB. That's the master switch for inflammation. It also blocks an enzyme called COX-2, the same one that ibuprofen targets. However, curcumin is hydrophobic. It does not mix well with water, and your liver rapidly targets it for disposal. So therefore, you need 2 other items to support it: black pepper and healthy fat, coconut oil or avocado, so that it can absorb through your lymphatic system. You can make a golden paste with turmeric powder, some water, black pepper, and coconut oil to take a teaspoon daily. Herb 2, rosemary. So let's say you've been at your desk for 8 hours. Your upper back feels like stone, and you think you just need to stretch. But those muscles are ischemic, so there's a lack of blood flow. Stretching a dry hypotic muscle is like trying to untangle headphone wires. You'll just tear fibers, even though it's the first thing that we think to do. Rosemary contains rosmaric acid and volatile oils. Here's what they actually do. Internally, they stimulate nitric oxide release from your blood vessel wall. This widens the vessels, also known as vasodilation, and flushes out lactic acid. Externally, you can use them as an ice cube trick. The cold causes brief vasoconstriction, then a rebound flood of blood. Rosemary amplifies that rebound. So, how you use it is you can make a strong rosemary tea, 1 tablespoon of dried herbs in hot water, steam for 15 minutes. Drink half, pour the other half into an ice cube tray. After a hot shower, rub the rosemary ice cubes over your stiff neck. The hot water opens the vessels. The cold plus rosemary triggers a pump that mechanically washes waste out of the tissue. Try it for a week and see if that concrete feeling goes away. Third herb is California poppy, not the opium poppy. We're not trying to get high or addicted around here. Think about your last terrible night of sleep. You toss and turn, and the next morning, your back seized up from brushing your teeth, and you blame your mattress. But that muscle, the deep hip flexor, is directly connected to your fight or flight response. When your sympathetic nervous system stays on, that muscle stays clenched. California poppy contains alkaloids that bind to GABA A receptors in your brain and spinal cord, the same receptors that benzodiazepine targets. But just like basically every herb to pharmaceutical comparison, much gentler and non-addictive. When activated, chloride ions flow into your neurons, hyperpolarizing it, meaning that the nerve is less likely to fire. Less nerve firing equals lower resting muscle tone. Therefore, if your stiffness is worse after stress or poor sleep, give or take 30 drops of California poppy tincture in water an hour before bed. So, when to see the doctor? I love plants and I love herbs. And I believe in trying natural remedies first, but there are biological situations where herbs cannot help. In fact, delaying medical care can cause permanent damage. Therefore, memorize these 3 red flags. 1, night sweats plus fever plus stiffness. If you're soaking your sheets or running a fever, that is not toxins leaving. That could be a bacterial infection, septic arthritis, a spinal abscess, or even Lyme disease. Herbs cannot kill bacteria inside the joint. You need antibiotics or drainage. Delay can destroy cartilage in days. Number 2, progressive weakness, not just stiffness. If you notice you can't grip a coffee mug or your foot starts slapping when you're walking, that's not muscle tightness. That may be nerve compression or degeneration. So herniated disc, ALS, multiple sclerosis. Herbs cannot decompress a spinal nerve. So you need to see a neurologist. And number 3, a single joint that is red, hot, and swollen. If it's hot to touch and you have a fever, that is most likely septic arthritis or a severe gout flare-up. Herbs will not lower uric acid fast enough or drain pus. That requires a needle, aspiration, or medication. Holistic also means knowing when you need additional help outside of plans. A good herbalist and a good doctor want the same thing, your long-term health. So let's bring it back. You can do everything I mentioned and still get stiff sometimes. That's being human. And again, there are a lot of factors that go into why something may or may not work for you, but that doesn't mean that you can't try just because something may not work for you. Life is all about trial and error. And with the right support and guidance, you can definitely increase your odds. You don't have to live like the Tin Man. Start with 1 herb, listen to your body, and if you see those red flags, fever, weakness, hot joints, go to the doctor. That's not giving up on natural healing. That's truly being holistic. Again, this is not medical advice, just sharing some good knowledge. Remember, be kind to yourself, peace and love always.